Welcome to It's Money Experience. We're here today at 420 Lounge with Michael Frater, Big Mike. We're going to talk to him today about 420 Lounge, 420 Therapeutics Bliss, and just get to know him and who he is and what's happening in Jamaica. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. My pleasure.
So what's 420 Lounge about? Seems like you got a big following here, nightlife, a lot of stuff going on. How did you get into this place?
Originally, when I got into this place now was that a few years ago I actually got into the cannabis space and decided that I wanted to open a dispensary. But the process for the dispensary takes a little bit. It usually takes maybe a year or more to actually get the license certified and get the establishment up. So at the time I didn't want to sit around paying rent for 2 years and not operating at all. So, just brainstorming at the time and just decided that, why not do a lounge? But I didn't want to do a lounge like what everyone was doing. I've been to Qatar, Dubai before, and I realized that hookah lounges and bars over there are doing very well. And I had the experience of actually going to a few of them, and I really enjoyed it. And I noticed that there wasn't any in Jamaica. So I just decided that, I didn't know of any in Jamaica at the time. So I just decided that, why not just do a hookah lounge instead of a normal sports bar, like what most of the other.
And when you talk about the herb dispensary license, that's a CLA.
That's a CLA.
And you have your license now.
I have my license now up and running for the Therapeutic. This we've officially opened January 9th.
Okay. So just the other day.
Just the other day. After about 2 years of waiting, so finally that's on the way.
Congrats!
Thank you very much. But back to the lounge. But I noticed that when most people are doing the dispensaries, they're actually doing smoke rooms as well, and that's what I wanted to do at first. But what I realized, did some research and I noticed that most people, medical patients, they don't actually buy from the dispensary and smoke in the smoke room. They usually go home and stuff like that, so it was just going to be a waste of space for me. So just why not,
That's how you got into the hookah lounge side.
Got into the hookah lounge side of it.
And let's cheers. Let's do it the MoneyMark Experience way.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for 420. How did you get the hookah lounge, or in terms of like adding on a hookah lounge, and is it Jamaica's first hookah lounge in your mind, or how did this whole brainstorming come about with you and your partners? To get into that space. Okay,
to be honest, when I started doing my research, I have a friend of mine in Ocherius who has a bar and a lounge, but he did hookahs maybe once. I think it was like Wednesday night.
Okay.
And then,
so you've seen it before in Jamaica?
Well, once when I started doing the research, I realized that there was that Wednesday night thing, and then someone told me about one which had opened for maybe 3 months and then shut down. But I just thought that maybe it wasn't marketed well. I'm not sure their circumstances, but hookahs have been catching on, especially in recent times. In New York right now, you have lots of hookah lounges in New York, Atlanta, and it's a big attraction there. And there's none at the time. There was none in Jamaica, so why not just get involved? And since we've actually gotten involved, I've seen a few. Are now popping up, across
in Kingston or across Jamaica.
In Kingston and across Jamaica, so.
And so, what do you, if you got the herb dispensary side, 420 Therapeutics opened up just the other day, January 9th. When did the 420 hookah lounge side? When did that become operational, Mike?
Well, we opened our doors in November of last year, November of 2019.
Okay. 2019. So you've been around for a year or longer?
Well, we just did a soft launch because we just wanted to know how it would, how we could operate, or if it was something that people would catch on to. So we opened the door, did a soft launch, and was actually going to do a big launch in April, just like April would be our grand opening or grand launch. But unfortunately, as you know, by March of that year, COVID had taken over the place, so we had basically had to just shut down, put everything on pause, and just see if we could survive.
And how has COVID, would you say, impacted the business? I mean, besides that pause in getting the therapeutics business up and running, I mean, did you have to pivot the company or pivot the business venture at the time?
Of course, most, as you know, almost all of the entertainment life in Jamaica has been kind of shut down for the most part.
Sure.
So I mean, during the lockdown, of course, no business for the most part, and then you have to cut staff, cut operating hours. Once we got the go ahead to reopen, with all the restrictions, you can't operate at full capacity or anything like that. So of course, it has affected business.
So you have to be really mindful of COVID,
very mindful
protocols.
of COVID. Abide to all the protocols. So we don't know the actual true potential of the business just yet, because we have been, we have to cut back. But we have just been trying to be creative and just just been trying different things to get people to actually come here and then.
But your Instagram page, your social media following seems to be growing really fast. What's your demographic here like? Is it a younger crowd? Is it a college crowd? Is it a mix, or kind of what's your following?
All right,
like?
That's the thing. We have to be creative with everything, and I think we do have a mixture of everyone. We have different themes for different nights. And
so you're already doing kind of the American thing. You have like a theme nights and so. What are some of the nights you're having right now?
Well, as Mondays we have. Well, Mondays is a blank night. It's just basically for you just to relax and unwind. Not really a team night or anything like that. Tuesdays is basically geared towards, we have specials for ladies and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then
the place is popular with the ladies?
Very much so.
Okay.
Very much so. On Wednesday we have basically like we play dancehall or hardcore music on Wednesdays. And then Thursdays is basically
you have a house DJ, or you have different
DJs. We have different DJs. We mix it up. We have about 3 different DJs for the week. We have Bishop Escobar, who comes on, famous DJ who comes here on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays we have some of our local.
Were those things in your original plan, or that's kind of how you've had to
we just
juggle
had to
things
adjust with everything
work?
that's going on. Just trying to get people excited to just come and just relax and just enjoy the ambience and just enjoy the services that we have.
So how the hookah thing works now? I mean, is it just like what you see in foreign, or is it I don't know, big device, small device? It's straight on a table, or how the hookah business work?
It's not a big device. It's basically we have 2 types. Well, we have 1 type of hookah per se, but we have different like for some people who actually smoke, the hardcore hookah smokers who actually likes to smoke tobacco. But for the most part,
you have different type of hookah.
You have different type of
you have amateur and then you have hardcore one.
For people who actually likes tobacco.
You can tell who is different.
Yeah, man.
From them walking.
Because what I originally started, I just wanted to do organic hookahs.
Okay.
And that's where we use it. That's made from cane trash and molasses.
Oh, okay. So just like how you have vegetarian and meat lovers, you have different hookah type of people now.
Different type of, and some people want the hardcore tobacco, which I wasn't really. So
what goes in the hookah is the tobacco, is not the weed.
No.
Or the cannabis.
No. That's just completely. Okay. That's no. We just it's a hookah lounge where it's either tobacco or the cane trash and the molasses mix.
Okay. Does it give you a buzz though? Like you feel high when you take it, or? I mean, you feel like when you drink a couple of Guineas, or how you feel?
I mean, different people have different experiences. I think it does give you it makes you feel good.
Okay.
It makes you feel relaxed. It makes you feel good.
Okay.
So it's
So it's COVID proof. It makes you not think about COVID anymore.
Not at all. It just gets you very relaxed and just you take your mind off everything and just. Okay. Have a really relaxed chill time.
So you have a niche market. You've caught onto something here at 420 Hookah Lounge.
Yes. And
what's the growth plan? In the original projections, or where you're at today, a year later, is a thought process to open up more locations, more lounges, in the busy areas of Jamaica, or where's your thought process?
Of course, initially it was just a spin-off of the dispensary, but the dispensary was open and we've opened it, and it has. As I say, it has gotten popular. So we are in the process of actually thinking about expanding. We'd like to have different outlets, so to speak, all over the country. Well, especially with COVID and the protocols now, what we realized is that we don't have enough space to accommodate everyone with the protocols. So we're actually looking to get a bigger space as well.
Okay.
So
in the current location or environment here, or or maybe nearby.
We'd love to have it in the current environment, as well as just bringing it to different parts of the country as well. I mean, we'd love to have one in Montego Bay, one in Ocho Rios, and just bring it all up. Well, Negril as well.
And where we are today is Monacento. I mean, yes, the plaza has become a bit more buzzy. It's more busier here than previous years. I mean, you're happy with the location today?
No, I'm happy with the location. I mean, we have adequate parking. We have no problems per se with parking or any complaints or anything like that. So it's been good. It's been good.
And the brand mic 420. I mean, everybody knows what 420 means. But how did you come up with it, especially from a Jamaican Caribbean perspective? Why did you decide to use it with your business partners?
I mean, once you get into the cannabis industry, you're going to know that April 20th is the National Cannabis Day. Most people wouldn't actually know that it wasn't from 420. Well, I learned a while back that 420 actually came from a group of students back in California who just after school at 4:20 in the afternoon after school they would go and smoke after school.
So that's the other side of the history.
Yeah, that's originally where it came from, and then it just turned into national April 20th National Cannabis Day. And I just thought it was just appropriate. Being in the cannabis space, easy to market, catchy. Well, I know we would have a dispensary and a lounge, so once 420 would just roll off everybody's tongue easily, and it was just appropriate for the dispensary. And as I said to you, the Hookah Lounge is a spin-off of the dispensary.
And the color red, red is popular. BNS is red, Digicel is red. I mean, is it any science behind going with red, or
it was just? I mean, the red is a partner of mine who just actually, he just thought the red would pop. To be honest, so I mean,
you just run with it.
Just run with it, and I thought it's very attractive.
It looks good. Furniture now is red. The brand is red, so it definitely is catchy.
Yes.
Yeah, looks good. And how else do you see with a herb dispensary side? Do you see that going with? Right now you have both locations here. They're separated.
Yes.
But do you see that being the future business plan, whereby you do them as kind of joint ventures or add-on locations with other locations, or you might separate them?
No. I think we're going to keep them together because, as I said to you, the dispensary is the original thing that started everything. And with what I basically want everybody to be is educate themselves with the benefits of medical cannabis. And notwithstanding, we should be much further along in Jamaica as we are now. I think we're a bit lagging behind, but I think it's medically, it's a plan that will help many people once we are educated and once the doctors prescribe the right amount and everything like that. So I think we are just, Jamaica being a country that is known for marijuana, we should have been further along. But we are not too far behind. I think once we get the right push from the government and everyone, then I mean we are known to have the best cannabis in the world. And once we capitalize on that, I think we'll be good. So
there's some global analysts or articles that go on to say, well, Jamaica's lost its touch and all the strains are available globally or in California. You buy into that, or you still think the brand and regardless of the taste, the brand is still here?
Regardless of the taste, brand Jamaica, you can only get the taste that they have in all over the world. It will never be the same as the actual Jamaican weed. And what I've also experienced is that many of the so-called strains that they have in the US or whatever, and they bring down to Jamaica, they won't grow properly. What we have here is, I don't know if it's just the soil or it's just the atmosphere or whatever, but what we grow in Jamaica is almost completely different than what is grown elsewhere. And it can only be, it's only available in Jamaica. And it was just recently I found out that there are actually two or three strains that it can only be grown in Jamaica. I don't know if they have actually
really
some research. I've learned over just the past week that it's only available in Jamaica. And I think that's very unique. But as I said, what we have here in Jamaica is very original, and it's completely different than the fancy name strains that are all over the world. But Not saying that they're not good enough, because science has played a huge role in different companies developing and patenting different strains that actually are just, work for different illnesses like the Charlotte's Web and all those type of strains.
Okay. And where do you foresee, on the cannabis side, are you interested in expanding or getting vertically integrated? Some businesses out there, some have pulled back, from whether they're Canadian companies, reading a lot of media articles over the past 12, 18 months. They want to see it more decriminalized, or, whatever's happening in the US now. Persons are bullish because of what's happening with the Democrats coming in and Biden. But do you want to get more vertically integrated, like take 420 into the farming side,
that's
logistics?
That's the original plan, to have 420 vertically integrated. So we'll like to have the farm, the lab, as well as the dispensaries. Most of the
so you do want to see the therapeutic side go into other facets?
Of course. They're all just vertically integrated, so we'd have control from its growing, the processing, to the dispensary, and to the export. I think what does that mean is that most of the big companies thought that the export market would have been readily available, and that's not been the case. We have actually been waiting for the export to be open for the last 2-3 years, but unfortunately, as I said, there's a.
What do you find on the therapeutic side? What is the export market waiting on? Is it the international side? Is it the Jamaica side, or where is the market waiting?
I think it's between to be honest, it's between the Jamaican side and the US per se, because Canada is open, Australia is open, New Zealand is open, England is open, Germany is open. It's just
but can you export from Jamaica legally to those countries?
No, because not yet, because everything, it has to do basically with the banking, and it is not federally approved yet in the US.
So the banking system is waiting for the government systems, and it's a total trickle-down effect, everything.
Very much so.
Okay. And do you attribute that's the reason why you're seeing a lot of these Canadian American investors kind of having to pull out of Jamaica?
I think that's what has happened for the most part. But as I said, with the Democrats taking office, no, I think within this year.
You're bullish?
It should pass.
All right. So you wanted the Democrats to win?
For business, yes.
I just put it on the spot a bit. All right. So you want to get vertically integrated on that side?
Yes.
You have the hookah lounge side. So that's exciting. And are you seeing more competition, come into the cannabis space, or do you think it's growing, or do you think it's decreasing?
It's growing. Right now we have maybe 6 or 7 dispensaries in Kingston alone.
Okay.
2 years ago you basically only had one, which was Epicon. In Kingston. You had Kaya in Jacksal, but it is growing, and most of the bigger companies realize that they've invested a lot, but the market that they have now is Jamaica. They can't do the international market, so dispensaries have been coming up so they can actually keep operations going. So Jamaica is a small market. We do have to acknowledge that there's still a black market out there, but this is for people who actually need it medically, and you don't have to hide and buy it. Once you have your prescription from your doctor,
then you can go.
A prescription or recommendation
from your doctor.
You can be freely,
No, well said. And on the entertainment side, the side we're in right now, there's so much restaurants and entertainment popping up in Kingston. More than I've ever seen before in the last couple of years. Do you find that, especially in Kingston and St. Andrew, there is more, and Portmore, just all of the environs, do you find that there is more demand now, and maybe there's less competition, but there's more market share and people want to go out? Is that what is really happening?
Jamaica is a party.
So instead of a kind of dog eat dog and this bar versus that bar, it's just that there is enough demand.
I think there's enough demand
for the nightlife scene.
I think there's enough demand, and especially for the nightlife scene. I don't think what we have noticed over the last years that you don't have any clubs in Jamaica.
No clubs.
It's basically mostly
so there's opportunity for maybe smaller lounges, jerk centers,
exactly,
and maybe higher end bars. We've seen popping up restaurants. We see a lot of restaurants opening.
Yeah, that's very much so. And most of the restaurants after hours, restaurant closed down, and they're actually into a lounge or a lounge / lounge club where you can actually have a semi party or whatever it is. So I don't think it's always good to have competition to keep you on your toes, to keep you making changes and keep you doing what the people want. Or
but do you find that the aggregate demand is growing, versus where you open up here and you have to get demand from somebody else? It seems like everybody's able to survive.
It's a dog eat dog world. We're not going to fool ourselves with that, but you have to aim to please the people, and once you're able to please your niche market and your customers, then I think you'll survive.
Yeah. And Mike, what are your kind of personal values or your values at 420 Hookah Lounge? Is it you're big on service, or what are the tenets you guys are living by?
I am the customers. Once you're able to please your customers, I think they'll always come back. And customer service, no, you can't pay for proper customer service. And I think that's what most people like. I think it's not a huge space, so you're able to interact with the customers more. We have celebrities who pass through every now and then, but you're not going to find anybody being standoffish here. It's basically like it's just more, as I say, more interactive. We have a small DJ booth where people could request whatever songs they want to hear while they are here just lounging and just enjoying the ambience. So it's just for us basically being more interactive, having a very good customer service for the most part.
Yeah, you've really maximized the square footage. We see a lot of new entrepreneurs, persons come in and they really maybe overexpand or go too big too early, and then they fall into financial issues. But you seem like you really have the right space. You're really maximizing the square footage in your current location. And
I've learned through traveling across the world, and that's what most people. I've been in Europe for the most part for a while, and what I noticed over there while I was competing and traveling are Irish bars. And they are not huge clubs, are just bars that are about this size, and you'll find that they're always that's where everybody wants to go. It's exclusive. You'd have to just get there early or make your reservations early, and it's not the big huge clubs that are not actually taking off in Europe.
And then rent is killing you and stuff like
the overhead. So I think that's one of the key reasons why unfortunately we actually opened during the COVID period, but we were able to survive. I think if it was a bigger business, with the climate, especially with the COVID and the protocols, I don't think we would have survived if we had gone big early. But smaller, just right, as I said. I think it's been working very well for us.
So that exposure through track and field, your world travels really has helped you coming into being a businessman now.
I mean, for sure. As I said to you, the hookah idea I got from traveling in the Middle East.
The Middle East.
And then the Irish bar concept I got from being in Europe. So it's just my exposure that actually led me to creating something like this.
And it's good to see a Jamaican getting that and doing well here, because the Irish have done well here.
Yes.
Of course, we know that as Jamaicans. So that's and is this your first business venture, or have you ventured into business before?
No.
Post track and field.
I've ventured into business through my track and field career as well as after my track and field career. I mean, one thing I know is that you'd have to pay to learn. Put it like that. I've been in business before where
well said, yes.
Where I've been burnt. Partners have taken.
You're not losing. You're really learning as you move forward.
I just have to use it as a learning experience. Because as I said, we've been burnt, and one of the things that I have to learn now is that you can't leave your business. Not that you can't leave it up to people, but you have to basically be integral in the operations of your business. You have to be hands-on, know what's going on. And just, once you get to a certain level where you can actually have a capable management team, then that's fine. But, while I was competing, I just, have different business ventures and just leave it up to everybody, and then, it would have just dissipated.
So in those days, you were very passive. You were kind of
very passive.
Putting some money in and just trusting the person.
And just trusting people to.
And now with 420, you're very hands-on.
Very hands-on. I am here almost every day.
You seeing the difference, Mike? You're seeing the results?
Of course. I mean, you actually have a passion for the business of itself. It's something that you actually grow from start. So you have a passion for the business itself. You're not going to just
you're loving it now. You're really enjoying it.
This is I'm very passionate about the things that I do.
So you're here like pretty much every day or almost every day?
Pretty much. Okay. Maybe once a week I'll take a day off.
So versus just kind of saying, I put in the money, I go hire a general manager or a supervisor, just let them run it. you're that person, you're that guy.
I am that guy. I'm on the ground every day. Whether the good or the bad, I am there doing everything.
So you're HR manager, accountant, GM,
I'm involved in
everything.
Everything for the
Good
most
for you.
part.
That's good. And you're enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it. I mean, sometimes it's tiring because I also have a track club that we launched about a few months ago. So
new business venture as well.
New as well. Track and field is a passion of mine. So
what's the name of that, or what's that called?
That's Titans Track Club. Titans International Track Club.
Nice brand too. That's a good name. Okay. And is that just you, or is that
that's a partnership between myself and Gregory Little. We actually competed. We went to Woolman's together, and then we were both at MVP and the Racers Track Club. So he retired earlier before me, and was actually doing some coaching before. He was also an integral part of the.
And is that a sports agency, or is it like training club, or what type of club?
Training athletes, training our local Jamaican athletes. Okay. And we have a few internationals as well. So it's a
how it kind of works. The athletes pay you to train them, or is it you get to sign them if they do well, or? For
the most part, the more established athletes, they'll pay us to coach them. But with our club being so young, it's basically we just now investing in the guys that we have, in the younger
generation.
Finding talent and just grooming them. It's basically like even a 3 to 5 year development process.
Are you able with a model like that? Are you able to get any like global sports agencies to come in and back you, or any global sports brands to come and say, boy, we really want to, these guys know what they're doing, and we want to maybe take the long term upside if they find the next Usain Bolt or the next talent out there?
Fortunately for me, we are young. We are a very young club, but Puma has come on board early to be a sponsor of us.
Okay.
So I mean,
cash, or to get some equity in the business?
No, not equity. Cash sponsorship to just help with the development of the younger athletes.
You're looking for like any equity investors to come into Titans, or for right now you're just keeping it close to your chest?
I mean, we wouldn't. I have no problem with getting investors, because one of the things I've been stressing for the most part is that it is better to. I would have loved for investors to come in early than later, because once you come in later, I'm going to tell you straight up, it's going to be very expensive, because once we find the next world beater, it's not going to be cheap.
You mean at that time, Big Mike valuation up?
It's going to go up a lot.
You and Mr. Little.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean,
that's great.
For us, we would love for corporate Jamaica.
When you started this was started this year or last year, or when you started Titans?
Titans, we actually started Titans in June. Mm-hmm. In June of 2020. So okay. We just dropped smack in the middle of...
You got 420 going on, you got Titans.
Yes.
Anything else you kind of ramping up, or you kind of focus on these two business endeavors now?
Just getting these two very much off the ground and just getting them operational, and just that's it for now. And
when you were younger, whether in your track career or athletics career, I mean, any kind of business learnings or business failures that really made you kind of relook at life?
What I said to you, during my track career, invested in many businesses, and I've seen them sink, them tank, just because I wasn't able to basically be integral in it, and then you kind of trust people and they take it for a ride. But I was big in real estate when after I won the World Championships back in 2005.
Okay. So you won the World Championships?
Not second. I was second at the World Championships, but Justin Gatlin won it.
You can dream to win too, not right?
Justin Gatlin won. I think I'm
the winner. And you're not even drinking the Guinness, and you win World Championships, see?
Oh, man. Most people, put in my head that I won the race, because the winner at the time was Justin Gatlin. And
he was on the drugs at the time?
Yeah, man. Within a few months.
So they took away the gold from him, or no?
With the deal that he had made with the authorities, fortunately, that he was able to keep the 2005 World Championships and the Olympics.
It was a formal deal or informal deal?
He was supposed to be banned for life. He ended up only serving, I think, 4 years. So
you had gotten the gold, or you never got it?
No, never got it. But
it still burned you to this day? Or?
I mean, being second in the world is not bad, but being the world champion would have been sweeter. But I mean, I think it's the greatest accomplishment I've personally got myself. So
it's true.
Yeah, no arguments about it. And the one person who beat me that year was actually...
It's true, but it's like if you're Miss Jamaica, but you put runner up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
You want to put Miss Jamaica.
You want to put Miss Jamaica, but
I understand what you're saying there.
I mean, I am fine with it to be honest. But as I said to you, that time was the height of during the peak of my career, my financial earnings, and
So you were in those days. Now you found sponsorships. I mean, how it works? You get a lot of local sponsorships, or is it overseas sponsorships?
Unfortunately, and I'll say it to everybody, I never got a local sponsor. And
so you never got like I don't know, a Fosca Oats or a Grace
none of that
jump
stuff.
on,
and
like how they get Wheaties in America.
None of that stuff, and I would encourage these corporate brands to invest in our youth from a young age. Fortunately, Usain got sponsored.
I mean, like lock them in.
Yeah, man, lock them in. Usain got sponsored early from Digicel and Puma.
Okay.
I was sponsored after the World Championships. I was sponsored by Nike, so I had a decent endorsement contract. So, look. So
you got overseas sponsors.
Yeah, man, overseas sponsors
bought into the Mike Frater story.
Yes.
And sponsored you. Okay.
Being runner up in the World Championships wasn't too bad either.
No, okay, you got on the radar. You did your own personal public relations. Your optics start to work.
Yeah.
And
so
Frater is out there.
Became huge in Europe, in Jamaica at the time, because at the time, apart from myself, you only had a Safa poet. And
it's a unique last name you have. It's catchy. So you're going to get in people's boardrooms.
Yes. So, I mean, after that, I invested heavily in real estate, but it was real estate in the States.
Was it development you were doing, or was it, income purposes, just buying, or were you trying to flip? Were you trying to flip houses?
Not flipping per se, but we had like two apartment complexes, not huge, but maybe with about 8 units, and stuff like that, and a few houses and stuff.
So you were getting some good money from Nike, whoever.
Yeah, man. We had a decent contract. So initially we invested heavily in real estate, but unfortunately, as you know, the market crashed.
Okay.
The market crashed. So.
Oh, because this was before the 08 period. The housing crisis around, Lehman Brothers and everything happened around 08. Bear Stearns.
Yes.
Okay. So you got caught up in that.
Took a big hit.
As I say, you got your learnings and you moved forward.
Fortunately, I was still competing at a high level, so I was able to recover.
To rally back. Excellent.
Yes. So and that's just one of the things I'd just like to, as I said, you see, I'm pushing corporate Jamaica with athletes per se.
Yes.
I mean, when they need you is when they are developing for the most part. And I mean, you can.
And it's a risk, but I get what you're saying. But I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You have to take a chance.
And you can get more upside there.
You can get more upside. Because as I said, with Usain, fortunately, Digital just saw something early. I mean, we all know Usain was special, and they jumped on it real quick. And the mileage they have gotten, I don't think they can actually pay for what they got with Usain.
No. I love it. And and speaking more about you, Mike, you went to TCU. Was it Texas Christian University, right?
Texas Christian
you studied
University.
Political science. Your dad, well-known politician, Trelawney.
Yes.
When you studied political science, was it kind of pushed by your parents, or was it your own doing? Did you want to get into politics?
I wasn't pushed by my parents at all in anything I do. But they stood by whatever decision I made.
Okay.
And I mean,
so they really let you be.
Let me be whatever I wanted to be.
Be your own kind of kid, be your own man at the time.
And politics itself, what I wanted to do going to college was actually law. I had just set myself up. Graduated with honors, but I just set myself up that track is not guaranteed. One injury and your career could have been over. So
you were one of those smart athletes. You wanted to be like an attorney.
Yes, okay. Very much so. And up to this day, I've been, a few people have reminded me that that's what I was, I wanted to do back then.
So you were probably thinking, boy, you could get all your friends in athletics as clients and represent them and charge some big legal fees.
Pretty much. But law was a passion of mine growing up, and that's where I was leading.
Okay. Did you end up pursuing it, or like
no,
from the legal side, or?
No. To be honest, and that's what people need to understand. With being a professional athlete, it's not just people see us every day and think it's something easy, and when I tell you it's more than a full-time job. You basically
they just think it's natural.
They don't just think it's not like that. You basically have no life. For 12 years of my life when I was running, since turning professional, every single day, apart from say Christmas Day or New Year's Day, we had to train. You wake up at so 4 in the morning, you go to training at 5 in the morning, you finish training track work at about 9, then you go home, you get something to eat, you're back at the gym from 2 until 4, then from 4 until 6 you have plyometrics, and then by the time you're finished with plyometrics, it's just going home, taking a shower, getting something to eat, and then by 4 o'clock you're up again. And that's the sacrifices it took for me to be a successful professional athlete. And for the most part, most of the athletes who you see actually successful, that's what it took. Many people will see like a person like you saying and thinks he's all about party and everything, but they wouldn't see the time that he likes the party, you know, but when it comes to training, I trained with this saying for maybe I think it was about 4 years, and for the most part he never missed a day. So regardless if he goes out in the night,
you know, there's that old adage, there's nothing wrong with playing hard if you work hard, or work hard, play hard.
I mean,
so many successful.
We do get a month off.
People have done that.
We do get a month off after the season is done to just unwind for a month. Yeah. But the next 11 months out of the year.
And you make a good point, right? I mean, athletics. I never knew that you get 1 month off, 11 months on. But if you're in some of the other sports that get paid even more, I mean, NFL, NBA. So some of those off seasons are probably, I'm guessing, 4 months or 3 months, even longer.
Even longer.
So you make a really valid point that a lot of people don't know.
I think track and field is the most unforgiving sport because you can train a whole year and just before the trials or the Olympics.
But the events are the quickest.
That's
the thing.
That's the thing.
Yes. So psychologically, you don't really realize that as a spectator or as an onlooker.
I saw a quote last week where they were saying that you seen trained. He competed, I think it was a few minutes. I think he came up to 9 minutes or something like that. His career competing at the Olympics and the World Championships culminated to 9 minutes.
Yes.
But he trained 20 years to compete for those 9 minutes. So yes. I mean, that's track and field for you.
And you know, and Mike, more about you is, where are you at your stage of your career now? I mean, are you looking to? I mean, have you been giving back to Jamaica, paying it forward a bit? You know, whether it's to where you grew up or your communities, or are you still at a stage in your life where you're having to focus a bit more on you and your family, or how are you feeling these days?
I've been doing, for the most part, I've been giving back since I've still been competing, because I was actually the first person to be an active athlete and also be a vice president of the Track and Field Association. So I've been working hands in hands with the athletes and the welfare of athletes since 2013. No, 2012. I was elected in 2012, and I'm still a vice president on the board. Now I'm also a member of the director of the JOA, the Jamaica Olympic Association. So I've been doing my part, you know, with just being in the administrative role of it all. Yes. So I mean, never stop. Track and field is a passion of mine. So
excellent.
Never stop.
You do any charitable work now or anything else like that, or that's how you're kind of using your time or giving up your time?
Right now, I'm just, especially with the track club now, it's just, you know, just trying to get, you have disenfranchised guys out there who are just left by the wayside, who many people have forgotten about.
Yes.
And just trying to bring them back. I mean, we have had huge talents that have come through our high school system, but you know, once they're done with high school and they don't matriculate to the professional level right away, and they're just left
there.
Yes.
And you know, you mentioned Manchester a lot and Trelawney, your parents. You find yourself, you know, you're in Kingston now, but you find yourself going back to Manchester, Trelawney
for the most part. A bit. I mean, I was born in Manchester, but from Trelawney. I mean, every chance I get, I actually, you know, head back there. Country life is nothing that you can. If you didn't experience it, then it's something you missed out. But I enjoy the drive back there. The atmosphere is just different. So every chance I get, you know, I head back there. My dad is still in Trelawney, so.
And we're from Mike Frater 5, 10, 15 years from now. You know, you're a businessman today. You mentioned 2 of your business ventures, 420, where we are today, Titans. Where you want to see yourself 10 years from now?
Just being a successful businessman. Just continuing the journey that I'm on right now. I know we'll have obstacles and, you know, going forward, but just being steadfast, just handling the pressure, just pushing through.
And being hands-on. That's your learning from before.
I don't like making the same mistakes twice. I've learned a lot from others and myself with certain things. So I don't like making mistakes. So hands-on as much as I can.
And for Jamaica itself, I mean, any dreams in terms of, would you like to see some more, whether it's tracks or more green areas, more parks? I mean, things that could maybe bring about better athletics or.
For me, I mean, I would love to see us have a track and field sports academy here.
In each parish or a regional one,
or
how would you set it up?
We need one to start. Once we have one, I think
if you were the guy to do it or lead the charge, where, I mean, I don't know, where would you put it, and
I mean,
how would it work?
I mean, you have established with our high school system. We have established school system here. We are the big traditional schools, like you have your JC, your KC, Calabar. They have huge track programs, but I'd like to get them in the rural area. But as I said to you, we need a sports academy here in Jamaica. Every country I've visited have multiple sports academy, especially for track and, they have many football.
Yes.
So, and they have track and field as well. So with Jamaica being so well renowned for track and field, it should have happened before.
So why do you think we don't? I mean, if Chase has so much money, I mean, we always, as a country, we spend a lot of money on, of course, security, health, education. But if we have, you're saying boat brand, why don't you think we get this type of academy? I mean, it probably won't even cost, it won't cost $1 billion, but we put $1 billion in a lot. Why do you think we don't get it?
I am not sure.
Is it something you've kind of lobbied for before, or?
I've been trying to push it through the Athletics Association, but
it's not there today.
Not yet.
Oh, fair enough. All right. It's been great having us at 420, and thank you for the Guinness.
It's my pleasure having you here.
It was great. And that's a wrap.
Thank you very much.
MoneyMark Experience, and thanks Mike Frater for having us. We really appreciate it. Good stuff. Let's do a COVID boom. Thanks a lot.